Hi everyone, it's Adrian Leah. I wanted to make a fiber video. I'll show other things and different types of fiber related projects. Before I show my projects, I wanted to show the dream catcher that I was gifted years ago from a friend who is also Native American, and she calls it the Thunderbird Dreamcatcher. I love this Dreamcatcher, and whenever I move somewhere, I have it. It is an item that is immediately hung up. So I had it in the car. I really wanted to make sure I would have it shipped immediately. I feel like I'll ship it with my Pippi spinning wheel. So I feel like I could kind of store it in an area of the spinning wheel that I'll I feel like it won't get bruised or anything. I'll have it packed as well when I store it with the spinning wheel, but I'm not taking the spinning wheel apart. So I feel like that might be to the advantage of shipping it, but this might be something that you'll have to kind of look at to see if hopefully you can see all the details. I also have a video years ago, and I have it on my Instagram too, of the dream catcher. You um, might be able to see it more, but hopefully you'll. Oh, okay. Just put my hair there. I love it so much, and I'm really going to gently package this, but also have it so if anything does like hit the exterior of the packaging, it won't damage the dream catcher. I am so pleased that I've kept it intact these years. So I'm going to put this in another area so I don't do anything risky with it. And it'll be a little further into the video, but like the other video where I was talking about my projects, I'm going to do something slightly different with the yarn, but basically the same project. And I'll get to that in a couple minutes. I will show what I just spun up. I have more fiber to spin. This is the Falklands. And I'm so happy with it. I will use this in a hand spun scarf that I'll weave on my loom, and I feel like I could spin what I have for the Falklands, and if I need more, then I could get more of the fiber, and it'll be fun to spin and then weave and do the projects simultaneously almost. And it feels like extra handmade. I also have more Romney to spin up. I'm hoping that I have enough Romney for the length of scarves that I usually like to have. I like them really long, so I got a lot of the Romney, and that is also on the list of yarn that I would get from my what I stored because I'm moving my storage. And I did make a list. So I have this notebook. It's one of the decomposition notebooks. 100% post-consumer waste recycled pages. And this has the crimson clover on the outside. This book specifically has things that I'll want to get when I'm in the UK. So for baking, I have list of ingredients here on, you can't really see, but just lists of ingredients that I like to bake with and what I like to bake with. Um, I do mention if I use milk substitutions. I'm really happy that there is the lactose-free heavy cream. That's like a big one for me because I like to make apple cake at like once a week when I had my apartment. It's my favorite dessert, and I just like having it on hand. It's like probably my favorite dessert, and it calls for heavy cream. And I also like to make pies. I like to have blueberry pies. When I was younger, I would go for apple pies, but I do like apple pie still. But I made pumpkin pie, apple pie, and blueberry pie, and I'll see what else I would want to use. And you making it with handmade crust is just makes it amazing. I think it tastes incredible when you're making as much of it handmade as you can. I also have my rye flour in my storage. I think I might actually bring that. Of course, I could probably get it there, but I don't know about like in the UK, but that was really hard to find for me. And luckily, I found it in like an Eastern European. Well, I you have them in Eastern European supermarkets, so that would be like my first guess of where to get it because in regular supermarkets they just didn't have it. So I wanted that specifically for my sourdough. And I do have a preference because I have whether I want my blueberry filling to be more runny than congealed. I prefer mine a little more runny, and I don't really add the lemon. Most of the time I don't add the lemon. I feel like when I use the fresh blueberries, this might be different when you don't use fresh blueberries. It already has that enough tartness for me because otherwise I feel like if I use too much, like if I use the lemon in there, it just tastes really tart. And maybe it's just like a your mileage will vary with that on whether or not you want to have that type of taste, which of course you can definitely try those things. Um, Molasses is an interesting one because I have used it for making molasses bread, and that's from my Irish pub book. And I like using it for my French toast. It's definitely a different take on it. It kind of feels like the adult version of French toast, which I like French toast, so I'm not mega picky about the French toast itself, but I am picky about the type of maple syrup. I like natural maple syrup. I don't usually go for the one that's more artificial. That'd be on the first page. I also have like dried goods that I would like to bring if I can. Again, it depends on how I'm sorting my stuff out. Um, I also wanted to see, because there's like this, what is it called? A Ukrainian center, but it is a little further out in Pennsylvania. So it's a little bit of a drive. Honestly, nothing really feels that much of a drive since I've been driving long distances for the last couple of years, but since I'm going to sell my car, I'm trying to like slow down on that. And so there's this Ukrainian center where you can donate things, but I had to like see what they want for donations because I feel like I have stuff that I feel are fairly new to like still have the price tag on it because I haven't used it. Um, that I feel like I could donate. So I'll see. As for the electronic stuff, I might just give it to my godmother or my godbrother wanted the TV, so I did bring that. It disappeared somewhere in the house, so I don't know if my godparents decided that they'll keep it, but it's I guess out of the way at least. And in some storage that I had that were actually in really good condition that I was like, I kind of would like this to go somewhere where it would be really useful. So they did want that too. Some specific ingredients for like different types of cuisines I have in here. There's a lactose-free section that I have that um I like, and then dried ingredients and seasonings that I like to use pretty frequently. I did add another section, and um, the section is like yarn to bring because I do have yarn storage unit that I wanted to switch out. Like I wanted to do some rotation with it because some of it some of it is sentimental, but others I'm like I feel like I could really use it, and I feel like it will be kind of both in most cases, but I didn't write a big list so far. I mean, I don't want to overpack my luggage, but one of the luggages that I got, I feel like it's more of like extra or um I would call it like the fun things type of luggage. It turned into the tarot luggage so far. I had to weigh it. So I'm for sure I we'll see. And then if security is like, what is this? I'm like, I have uh I have a close connection with them. I want to have them when I first move. But I do have like the luggage that my godmother gave me, that has like a pocket that fits all the yarn that I took with me so far, which is good. I am gonna do again a rotation on some of them. But I really wanted to get the rest of the Romney handspun because again, I'm going to sorry, my foot's falling asleep. I'm going to use it to in a like when I'm weaving a scarf. That'll be for the next project, and that was a lot of Romney fiber. It was like 12 ounces, I believe, and I spun a good amount of it, so I would like to have that. I feel like I'm gonna pack it with my tea water. My tea water is a special one. Tea's water is a special one for me because I got it at the Maryland Sheep and Wool, I believe, and I believe that's what it's called. But I saw this booth, and the booth had so many, what is it, like fur collars, I suppose you would say it, or like sheep collars, fiber collars. I just loved how regal they looked, and I immediately was obsessed. I was like, it's a little pricey for me. I understand why you priced it like that, but I don't, I can't buy that right now. So I got the fiber that they use for the scarf and to give that perspective. So the collar is like um, they priced it around like 112, I believe, for at least some of the ones that I've seen. And then for the fiber that I got for it, it was $30. So I still have to get a backing for it, but I feel like I'll do that when I move. And the one of the um well, it was like a farm, and one of the women, or because there were two of them, were saying that she watched a lot of the Ukrainian videos on how to make the collars. So I feel like that is um, where I could really look into making that. And that'll be, I have it already, so it's coming with me. Then I have the fiber guild that I was in um, the DC area, and one of the members spun up a lot of Manx and I bought it at one of the fiber festivals. I When I saw it, I was immediately like, I made a couple of rounds in the festival to make sure that I would look at everything to see what I would want to get, and then I narrowed it down. And then I kept coming back to like the same handspun. I love the handspun products. I really, really love handspun um, that's woven into different items, like handspun scarves. I feel like are one of my favorite types of projects, and I haven't used my handspun, so I would like to see it because I am just so eager and amazed at from I'm eager to make my own, and then I'm amazed like when I see handspun in like a woven project. So it really shows a lot of the texture, especially if you're like depending on how you want to spin it, and it shows the character of the fiber really well when you're weaving it. So I have this is a specific thing, it's sentimental, and I want to get it. Another member of the Fiber Guild, she also has her farm. Well, a lot of them have farms, and she is a vendor, and she has her own business where she sells a lot of different fiber products. So it can be the different things to spin up with. It can be the yarn, various tools that you use. Like she sells a lot of looms and spinning wheels, um, the nitty knotties. So if I get stuff from her, I get a discount, but I can't get this the discount when I am at the festival. I forget what it was, but understandable, and I appreciate it. So she's like, "Let me know when you move." And I'm like, "Okay." So that is majority of what's in this notebook. I forgot I had some stuff in this notebook because I actually have been looking for it. I had my plans to make my own spinning wheel in here, and then I have my little pictures in here too. You can't see them. Usually you can't see the stuff, but um, I am happy that I have them still. And this was a while ago. Oh, I mean, I haven't been showing my projects, so let me show another project and then um, I'll show another thing that may not be super fiber related. It's not fiber related. So in this bag, I have another mitten that I casted on, and I really love it. So I love the pattern and I love the yarn that I'm using for it. It just feels like really, sorry, really, it just feels soft because usually I don't knit with super soft yarn. I feel like I go for a lot of like the rustic yarn. I tend to lean towards yarns that I feel will be long lasting, like workhorse yarns. Sorry, I think I have like, I was spinning earlier and I have like fiber in my throat. But I have this so far. I started this, well, now it's past 1 a.m., so 2 days ago technically. And I did the bottom a little differently because I just wanted to do ribbing, and it is one of it's a Latvian mitten, so it doesn't have any increases for like a thumb gusset or a section for the thumb gusset. So this is one of the, well, I didn't research that or anything, so I feel like that's ideal for your thumb since you're going to make an opening for your thumb when the time comes. So I am past I'm past 1/3 of the chart. And the chart is this pattern with the chevrons or these, and then it has the swirl pattern here, or spirals, maybe. I should have enough yarn because they were saying 2 balls of the main color and 1 of the contrast color. And so I feel like that'll be enough. It should be. Oh, and the back is plain. So it's been working up quicker than my other mitten that I'll actually talk about in this video too, because the other chart has um has things on both sides. So for that project, I used a protractor to make it easier for me to look at the charts without feeling like it's um I feel like the project is more enduring when I wasn't trying to hone in so closely at the chart. The protractor helped with that. And I'll talk about that because I did finish two mittens, which I really love. I decided I'm going to make two more mittens because I did something slightly different for this, well, for the two that I have. So the pattern recommended a smaller needle. I used the smallest needle that I had for to start off with the first mitten, but it didn't feel right for me. It might feel different for you if you knit with this yarn. It recommended a size up from the needle that I was using. So eventually, after doing the ribbing and getting till into the heart pattern, I switched to the size that the yarn recommended to use, and I really liked it. So that was the main difference, but I don't feel it being that different for the two mittens, but I feel like I have a good amount to start off with. So I'm probably going to just I'm using the needles for the mitten for the fingerless gloves for I'm using those needles. I don't know why it sounded so weird. So I already started on it. This is like the Judy's Magic Cast On because it's going to be bottom. It was going to be bottom up, but now I am going to start making the third mitten. So I have a new skein of the blue, but with the yellow, I don't have a lot. So I'll see how far I go with it. And I'm hoping I can knit majority of the mitten before I go back to get more yarn. And at the time, the yarn store just had one of the blue, so I'll see if it was replenished. Because I did have the yarn bag, or yarn bag, I did want the tarot bag to be knit with a specific yarn, and I got it for that specific purpose. So at the time, well, not at the time. So I got these, and these won't make like a full set. Well, they won't make a set of mittens. So again, this is the Knitted Wit Gems. It's 20 grams, and it is in the colorway Moonglow. It's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. And the mittens are 100% Shetland wool. They are on the rustic side, but I really, really, really love them for the mittens. I feel like how they came out is exactly how I wanted, and using it for color work is just something like I'll want to continue to do because it was really made for the color work, and um, the color work just looks so like the image is so together So the other one that I have is the Dream in color yarn. 85% superwash, merino, 15% nylon. 100 yards. So I'm definitely going to make this into a project. These are yarns that I will keep with me too because I just knit a lot with those colors. Um, I just wanted to show this. I'm gonna, no, never mind. I was gonna adjust myself. So I got this a while ago, a couple of weeks, couple months ago. This is something that I found in one of the Eastern European stores. I was actually looking for Gulliver chocolate because they have vegan candy. Well, it's vegan candy, and well, they probably have more items, but I really like the vegan wafer chocolates. But I don't know if I like bought all of the chocolates in the tri-state area because I cannot find it. But I found this. I thought it was cool. I think it's cool. The Ukrainian traditional cuisine. So these have like different recipes and it comes in different languages too. So, how do I? So it opens, oh my God. It opens like this, and I didn't even see the English part of it. I was about to say it will take me a really long time, and I won't even know what majority of the writing says. But there's the English one in here too. I think I'll just read that. Ukraine, Ukraine, like any other country, boasts unique traditional festive dishes which constitute essential part of the national cuisine. The following publication features recipes of foods which since long ago has been firmly linked with religious holidays. Christmas Eve, January 6th. Christmas, January 7th. Um, St. Basil's Day, New Year, according to the Julian calendar. January 14th. Epiphany, January 19th. Pancake Sunday, the last Sunday before the Great Lent. Annunciation, April 7th. Easter, Whitsunday, St. John the Baptist Day, July 7th. Transfiguration, August 19th. The holiday of the protecting veil of the Blessed Virgin, October 14th. And St. Nicholas Day, December 19th. Modern Christian traditions have tightly intertwined with pagan customs of our ancestors, thus forming a unique diversity of festive occasions. The selective selection of recipes consists of 12 postcards, each containing a recipe for a dish traditionally cooked in the given religious holiday, with the name of the religious holiday is indicated in brackets next to the name of the dish. So I'll show the pictures. I have some time. I mean, my videos are pretty long anyway. So, Bereniki, and the back has the ingredients. I'm sorry, you cannot see any of this, but it's just really washed out. But I'll just show the picture. Then I think I might keep them in order. Marinated and baked pork for Christmas. Stuffed carps, epiphany. Kutia, Christmas Eve. So we hold honey, sugar, poppy seeds, walnuts, raisins, prunes, candied apricots, pears, optional. So this is a dessert, I think. Cold beef borscht with sundae. I've never tried borscht before. This looks like a dessert. Kulik and Pascha Easter. It says desserts. I really get interested in that part of eating. I love desserts. Glass cream, glass sugar. I'm not sure. That's an ingredient. Lemon flour, lukewarm cream, yeast. Stuffed potato, Linny pancakes, pancake sundae. I think I'll want to make this. I've made the Ukrainian cheesecake, and it is different than the cheesecake that you would see here. It's made with cottage cheese. I've never made regular cheesecake, but it's different. And I put like a jam with it. So this is spicy cake. They look like Saint Nicholas Day. This one has vodka. Oh, that's the spice. Okay, wait. Or I mean, there's cinnamon. That's spice too. Ginger, mint, baked pumpkin. For the day of the protecting veil of the Blessed Virgin. It's just curious because pumpkins are a squash native to the US, but I don't know like about it for other countries. Like I could just be saying that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Baked apples, transfiguration. So that apple cake that I like to bake is well, I got it off a Ukrainian recipe website. So it is called Ukrainian apple cake. And then this one is the berry kissel St. John the Baptist Day. I have to look at the glass ingredients. I don't know. It could be other terminology. So, since I was making the mitten, I wanted to bring back the sweater that I've had on the needles for a really long time. It was going through the transformation, first switching out the yellow yarn because it was so dense. It really wasn't for garment knitting, and I've knit with dense cotton yarn before for like dishcloths, and I didn't have a problem with it, but it might be like um the construction of the garment that is more strenuous. It's less strenuous now that I changed the yellow, and I do love how it's really right. I love how it's turning out. It's going to have a bird here. I'm starting the bird. I just did um an increase round. That could also be why it was a little straining too with when I was knitting it, but I did switch the needles. I I wasn't rotating. I was trying to see what would be like the coziest, I guess, for knitting this garment, and I feel like it should be okay now that I have this stronger needles on here. So it kind of takes the stress from my hands. I feel like I feel like a lot of the strength can go like with the needles, and I don't have to maneuver it as much, putting the strength like in my hands, if you know what I mean. And I feel like it's good that I switched it. I used wooden needles on it for a little bit, but I when I was using it with the other cotton yarn, I switched out because I didn't want my needles to snap. That's how dense it was. And then I ripped it back. That was another thing. I ripped it back to switch the yellow. And this is actually for garment knitting, and it's really comfy. I do like it a lot. Um, and I love the blue too. So I after that I switched to acrylic needles, which were interesting. I don't know how I feel about them. I wouldn't, they're not like offensive at all, but I am so picky with my needles. I just like them to feel a certain way. I feel like I like the Addies too. So I'm kind of thinking maybe I would try them, but they don't have a large selection of Addies. At least the ones that I would like to try. Like I was kind of considering like looking into the olive wood one because I'm picky about like the different woods too. Because it's also like what I would like to look at like when I'm knitting. I love the ginger shorties. They're my favorite wooden needles. They do wear a lot, but I also have been knitting with them a lot. Um, so I guess as long as they keep like making them, I can definitely knit with them because it's like the length and like lamination that the wooden needles have. A lot of it is the length because I'm picky about like how short I would get the needles to be. Um, I do like the 4 inch for the Chow Goose too, and the 5 inch. I like to. I actually use the 5 inch for like specific things though, because sometimes I feel like that um can make my hands a little sore after a while, just with the length. But the 4 inch I really like, and then the ginger shorties, technically they say 3.5 and then four and then 4 inches. Because some sources say 3.5, some sources say 4 inches. I believe the website says 3.5. I'd have to double check on it. So when I look at websites, it's kind of like um, I really have to see it for myself or like try it out before getting like a whole set because I don't know like where they're measuring from for some like sites. So it gets like kind of like I don't want to get the needles if they're not going to be at least the length that I would want to have them at because there's definitely ones where I felt that they were shorter than what I would want to knit with and then I just didn't knit with them. So so far I love the Knitter's Pride Ginger Shorties and then the Chow Goose, preferably the 4 inch, but I do knit with the 5 inch too. I really love this project. It's a couple shades darker than the mittens, so I'm happy that I can wear it against like close to my face because some blues I don't. I have the short rows here and I'm really happy about it. This one has the twisted rib. I like knitting the twisted rib, but I think I prefer the look of the regular ribbing. But I don't mind either one. So I feel like I don't mind them. I'm not gonna rip this project out because I do like it and I want to have the finished product. And since I'm in the mood and it's getting cooler to like knit on it, it's the indication that I don't like my brain doesn't see it as a seasonal project, and that's a good thing. So I could keep this in the background and knit on it. For the test knit, I it's plain knitting right now. I might start on the sleeves. So I feel like there's a little bit of there's progression on it, but I don't really like to play knit that much. So when it comes to like the body, um, I like cropped sweaters, so I don't mind having cropped sweaters, but there's also like the point of it where I want to have the full length, and I'm over halfway for the body, but just for a little bit of like excitement, I might start a sleeve. But I haven't done this for any projects. I put a stitch marker on it or a progress keeper to see. So today is the 10th, or I put it on technically yesterday, so the 9th. I'll see what my progress is. I hope I did on it. So I just wanted to show another book. Oh, I also got this. I thought it was a cool find. So this is technically a cutting mat, but I was thinking maybe I might cut on it, but I didn't really want to scratch it, even though it seems like an okay material. I feel like after a while it would get like scuffed up. Um, I wanted to use this to measure the staple length of my fiber when I'm spinning it, and I wanted to put it in um, my project notebook. Technically, it's in storage. I have this notebook. It's like a leather one. It mainly has the projects that I modified, and I wrote the modifications in the notebook for like if I wanted to knit it for next time, I could see exactly what I did. Or if I liked how I did certain things in another project, I can incorporate it in a different project. So that is like the resource that I have for myself. I guess that's like a scientific way, I guess, when you're looking at the different variables. But I think it's being attentive and listening to yourself and what you like about certain things and then incorporating it in future projects. So, uh, cutting mat, I'll use, well, the staple length is the average length of the fiber that you're spinning, or just the fiber of like maybe the sheep. So, I noticed with the Falkland, it had a shorter staple length than the Romney. So after um, working with it for a little bit, I was getting the groove or getting the hang of like the groove, the hang of like spinning it. So it was something that you just think about when you're using a different fiber and how the results are and what you can do with it. What would be a good type of spinning method to use with the type of fiber that it is, like the characteristics that it has. So, I might make a video about it. I don't know if because I just tend to talk. But Trish from Fiber Love Diaries, she has a whole, I think I mentioned it. She has a whole playlist of the different fibers that she got from one of the kits on Etsy, and then um, sorry, she also has other fibers that she included in that playlist too. So she has some of the sources, like she has different books that she uses. I was thinking about getting one of the fiber books, but I think I might get it like when I'm in the UK and not add to the books that I have. But I brought up books. I do have a book right on my lap. It's the Icelandic Knits. And I am debating if I'm going to bring this one right away. Because with the Portuguese knitting book, I like the different um, parts of the book and what it like teaches you, and then the one specific pattern that I go to constantly. This Icelandic knits book was kind of hard for me to get. Um, I guess not like the book itself, but the source of the pattern. Because again, I've said in other videos that sometimes, a lot of times when the pattern is like featured in like a book or another source other than maybe Ravelry or like maybe Etsy or something. Well, Etsy, like you would have to sell it. That's the point of it. But um, then it's not available anymore to purchase individually. So there's this one pattern, and I try not to do this, but there's like this one pattern that I was so determined to knit. And it's weird because I don't know if I would wear it myself, but I was kind of thinking it would just be a gift knit. Like, I'll show it. But it was just that type of pattern where I was just like, I'm going to knit this. And it's just going to be really like something that I would want. I feel like I'm going to use the alpaca yarn that is from one of the fiber members, the guild members. It's the alpaca one. I don't know if I even went into detail with that. The alpaca one, and it's like a charcoal, and each cake was like 300 grams, and it was insane. And I love the texture. I like alpaca yarn. Some people um like it's a personal preference, but Some people might get irritated with alpaca, but I mean, I if anything, and if I don't get to gift it to anybody, I could always wear it. So the pattern is the floaty sweater. So it is this one. It's this one. So it kind of is like giving Loch Ness Monster in a way, which I felt like was fitting. But it says the floaty fleet sweater is inspired by the Viking longships bearing snakes on their prows to ward off any evil spirits encountered on their journey. As they appear on the horizon, the sun also glints the row of the gilded shields. The sweater is knitted from the top down without seams. So it makes sense with the symbolism and what it would do, like in terms of like the Viking longships. Um, and they even say in one of my books that I got a while ago that I'll have to have shipped because it's kind of a heavy one. It has like the history of the Norwegian sweaters, and they would say that the different symbolism or the things that they would knit into their garments would be for protection mainly, and if they want to incorporate other symbolism in there, they can too. So, like, even their nightgowns, they did the same. So, I really want to knit this, and I was thinking I would use that special yarn. I really love that yarn, and with that much, I was just like, it has to be a full length garment. Like, I just will refuse to. I'm sure I'll have some left over, but it just gives you like the opportunity to knit a full length. And even that, I could probably knit like two sweaters with it. One might be cropped ish, or like 3/4 length sleeves. But for the most part, it will be something that I could make into a garment, probably more than one garment. So the last thing for this video, I was thinking I would show, where should I show my grocery bags? Like I just got another one because it's insulated, and sometimes I don't go upstairs to like get stuff, I know, but it's also like I don't want to like um just I'll just be to myself, I guess. It's nothing personal, but I am I can just be like that. So I don't have like super like I don't get like foods I don't get like foods that are like really high on the list to like spoil like milk. I don't have that down here, but some some things like drinks or whatever I would like to keep cool for a little longer, and I will keep other stuff in there too just to store. But I was gonna go through other patterns. Maybe I'll do that in another video. But I do have like patterns that I'm really planning on knitting up, and I wanted to bring some patterns, not all of them. Like that book, it's kind of like one that it took me a long time to find because a lot of the patterns like weren't in English. I really want to make the head marks sweater too because I feel like it would be a piece that I would wear a ton in the winter time. Then, but I do have that like on the website too. This is a specific one because it has a bunch of patterns in here, but I was looking for one pattern specifically, but it was available on another website or not a web, another book, but it's not like an English book and it was hard to find and it's out of print and I couldn't get it. So this was great too because I wanted to knit it and it's a unisex sweater. So it's in this book and there's a lot of patterns in here. I downloaded it, so I guess like that's fine, but I probably would wanna like just bring it with me because of how long it took me to find the pattern that I wanted. So let's see. So it's an older book. It's Reynolds' New Icelandic Fashions for Men and Women, Icelandic Lopi Wool, Volume 78. So this was $2.50. I do have my accordion folder too, which I was going to organize with it. A lot of these patterns in the accordion folder I've knit already. So, and some I just kind of have in storage for the just in case moments when I would want it. Like if it was maybe like a free pattern and I printed it. Um, so there's more space in here. I will fill it up more. And then I might bring this folder with me right away. I also am gonna sort out my documents for like things that I might need too. Ideally, I would just like to keep most of them. I don't have too many, but it's over an hour. I guess I'll quickly show my grocery bags. But I will show them in like a video log anyway. I just try to get like enough for videos so that they're not like super short, but I don't know, my videos are long, but I don't mind it. It's gonna have some noise, but this is the Wegmans one, and this is my new one. So this one's the insulated one. I'll show it more in another video, but there's stuff in there right now. And those are from two American supermarkets, Wegmans and Trader Joe's. Wegmans has a large variety of items. It took me a long time to go into Wegmans because Wegmans just seemed like it was more expensive, but they have like a wide range of prices that I was just like so surprised. And they have a lot of milk substitutions and like lactose-free items that I'm like, it's insane. They have lactose-free ice cream and it's like almost $1 cheaper, maybe even more cheaper than the Lactaid these days because Lactaid has been getting really expensive, like the Lactaid ice cream. I don't know so much about like their other products. Lactaid products are solid. I would say that like out of all of the different well, it's just without lactose, but it's really delicious. So, and then Trader Joe's is like has a lot of organic things and they come out with new products every month. I do watch videos on like grocery hauls and like new products and like the price comparisons and everything. Um, a lot of frozen meals, but they're um, definitely like kind of specific to Trader Joe's, I would say, because there's frozen meals in other grocery stores, but this is like kind of catering to like there's the vegan ones and vegetarian ones, and they look into the different ingredients. Their prices are lower. I heard that they keep their prices low because they don't advertise as much, so that they don't spend money on that. So there are products where you can just like make your own meals, but I would say the frozen food is like an area where a lot of people go to, I would say. Um, Wegmans, it just kind of like is surprising um, of how like much assortment they have, and their Wegmans brand, their brand, like house brand, is actually like as I said, pretty solid. Like they have the juicy juice stew for the fruit punch, and it's $1 less last time I checked, and it tastes like really delicious. So I'll end the video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in another video.